Hey everybody, this is Abdullah Konte with Win Sports, and I'm here by myself today. I'm solo, no Skylar, just me. We obviously are going to do a few different things on the channel. We don't, there's no more games for us to review on a week-to-week basis, and now we're kind of in that off season. And I love the off season over, almost as much as I like the in season. I just like the way these guys put things together. Obviously, seeing how the GMs move and how they evaluate talent and stuff like that. Hoping to interview some more people and to discuss what they're looking for in regards to the draft picks and free agency. But kind of wanted to do some more deep dives on some of these players. And today I just kind of was thinking, about the fact that this team has officially got that seventh spot in the draft, and essentially wanted to see who could they potentially get. I mean, I'm going to go through a decent amount of these guys, and one of these guys is going to fall to them at 7. And, there's potential that more of them do fall at 7, but one of these guys will be there. And let's go over the reasons why they should take them and should not take them, right? So the first thing I wanted to talk about was just 3 people, and these are kind of like honorable mention guys. 3 people that maybe if they traded back, I don't really love them at 7, but if they traded back, they maybe could be potential guys that they could grab. I think the biggest thing, everybody's been saying trade back. We just don't know, man. Like, there's not a lot of talent here in this draft class, and obviously with Dante Moore deciding not to come out, that kind of hurt this a lot. Now there's really going to be not that many teams that want to trade up, so I do see a lot of people just sitting in place and taking whoever they can get at that spot. But if they were to trade back, I mean, 3 guys I really like. I guess 2 of them I really like. The third, I know he's projected as a top 10 guy. I just don't love him. And let's start with him, is Keldrick Falk. I'm not the biggest Keldrick Falk fan, just mainly because I think the way I would want an edge to play would be, kind of more aggressive and just fire, just blitzing, getting in there, getting in the backfield quick. He's more of an edge setter. But the one thing that's positive about him is, the kid is 6'6", 285, and he's only 20 years old. He's real young. So if you were basing it on potential, he might have one of the best potentials out of this whole group. So I wouldn't hate if he ended up going to Washington. But at the same time, I think that if you're really looking for edge, there's just some other guys I prefer that they would, look at more. And then the other 2 guys in this honorable mention category are Mansour Delane and Jermon McCoy. I think these are mainly if they just feel like they're not in love with their corners, and I think there's reasons to consider corner if they traded back. Jermon McCoy, I think whoever gets this kid is going to get a steal in the draft. He got hurt last year, 2 years ago. He didn't play at all last year, and the fact that he's still ranked 12 on the PFF is pretty crazy. He's really long. He's only 6 feet, but he feels taller than that because he has really long arms. He's a freak. If you watch his film, he is all over. He's all over every receiver. It's kind of nuts. And then Mansour Delane, he's a little bit smaller guy, but he's also 6 feet. But if you compare the 2, Jermon McCoy and Mansour Delane, they look like they're different sizes, but they're pretty much the same size and weight. But Mansour Delane is much more of, I think he's a guy who could probably play inside. He's very twitchy, not like Jermon. Jermon's real long. I feel like he'd play on the outside. I think Mansour Delane would be more of an inside guy. But those are just a few people that I would consider. So my first guy on this list, and I'm going to go in order of what I think would be the best. And so obviously this list would be very different than other people, but number 7 is Carnell Tate. And I love Carnell Tate. He's 6'3", 195. is I try to compare his game, and it seems kind of similar, like maybe like a Devontae Adams. Like, he's a really great route runner. He's not super fast. I think I had heard that he ran a 4.7 in the 40 when he was coming out of high school going into college. He looks a lot faster than that on film. Like, I mean, he looks really, really great. He gets great separation. He's a great deep threat. I think if you're really trying to enhance the offense, if all these defenders, which are going to be more at the top of the list, if all these defenders get taken, I mean, Carnell Tate would be a great player. I think 7 is maybe a little a little rich for him. But I love the player. He might be my favorite receiver in this class. But the person that I have ahead of him is Jordan Tyson. He's another receiver at Arizona State. He's 6'2", 200. I think the only reason why I have him a little higher, I think I would prefer Tate, but I think I have Tyson a little higher, mainly because I just think that he has more tools to do a lot more things for Jaden Daniels if they got paired together. He's somebody who kind of reminds me of a more athletic Keon Coleman. He can go across the middle. Like, I think this is who people thought Keon Coleman was going to be. It's kind of what I feel. And I think Keon still has some ability and still has some room to grow. But Jordan Tyson has a really wide catch radius, and I just feel like he's much shiftier than a Keon Coleman. He's not my favorite receiver, obviously, because I would even say that Mekhi Lemon might be in there. I kind of like these taller receivers more if they are going to draft receivers. So those are, the two offensive threats on the outside that I would like. Now, this number 5 player is one that I know a lot of people hate when I say anything about him, is Jeremiah Love. And I think it's because people really love Bill, and there's no knock on that. Bill has played really well. I would love to see what Bill can build on this last year. I just think it's more of a 2-back league now, and it'd be nice to get a guy who can play all 3 downs. We didn't really see that much from Bill, like at least catching the ball out of backfield. And Jeremiah Love, I mean, he is somebody who could make an impact like a Bijan, like a Jahmyr Gibbs, like somebody who could come in and contribute right away and play significantly. The comp for me, I like. He kind of reminds me of DeMarco Murray. I know that, I think he might be a much better running back than DeMarco Murray, but just the way he kind of runs kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I just love the guy. He's very athletic, and it's one of these things that, like, if he's there at 7 and all these defensive players that I'm going to mention aren't there, I wouldn't hesitate to take him. And I know that people are like, no, receiver. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I would rather take Love. I think he's just the better prospect of the 3 offensive guys that I discussed. So, number 4, I have Arvell Reese, which you're probably wondering, why is he at number 4? Shouldn't he be higher than that? And I was in love with Arvell Reese like a month and a half ago. Like, I thought he was the number 1 guy on this list. And the only reason why he's fallen back, like, one, he probably is not going to be there, because I do think that he has more potential to get drafted before 7 than probably anybody on this list. But my biggest reason why I don't love Arvell Reese as much anymore is because I think he's still trying to learn what position he really is, and he just doesn't impact games as much as the other 3 guys that are higher on this list. He is a physical freak, and I think that if you pair him with DQ, that would be enticing, because he does play kind of like Micah. Like, he's all over the place. He's fast as hell, man. I mean, this kid is 6'4", 243, runs a 4.5, and it shows. Like, when he closes in on a quarterback, like when he's spying on a quarterback and closes in, the speed is ridiculous. So that's why when you see the highlight film, the highlights look incredible, but when you watch the actual games, I mean, most people who watched Ohio State in those last 3 games of the year kept saying, like, where's Arvell Reese? Like, we're not really hearing his name. We're not hearing his name. He's just not as impactful as I would like. But I think he has all the tools to be impactful. So it's very possible that he becomes a freak in the NFL if he gets paired with the right team. So I have him at 4, just mainly because I don't think he'll be there, but also because I think that if you want somebody to come in and make an impact right away, which I think they're really going to need, I think these other 3 guys might do that a little bit more for you. My number 3 guy is Reuben Bain Jr. Reuben Bain is a beast, man. He is just very relentless and aggressive and strong. Like, he just has like the way I would watch Aaron Donald just toss people around is kind of how I see with Reuben Bain. But he does it from an edge perspective. And I think that's the real reason why a lot of people think he might play 3 technique or play some kind of, D tackle, or it's mainly because his arms are short. He looks kind of small in a way, like short. He's stocky, he's big, he's just kind of shorter than you usually see from an edge, player. But at the same time, I mean, him and David Bailey both are 6'3", but Bailey just looks taller, leaner, longer. He has those longer arms. Reuben Bain, he just has those shorter arms, but the power that he has, the angles that he takes, it's pretty remarkable, his bend for how big he is. So I would take Reuben Bain. That would be something that I wouldn't even think twice about if the other 2 guys on this list aren't there. So my number 2 player is Caleb Downs, who I love Caleb, man. I think Caleb is my favorite player in this draft. And it would be really hard for me not to pick him over the number 1 guy. But it's because of the positional value, right? Like, I think there is an element of him being a safety that makes people hesitate. But I think that he has leadership qualities. He's all over the field. Like, he would correct so many issues with the team and the defense just off rip. Like, they draft him immediately, that defense becomes better because he can play everywhere. They keep mentioning the Swiss Army knife comparison to him. Like, he can do a lot. He plays a little bit. He can play a little man coverage. Like, he's in the backfield. He also plays a lot of linebacker. Like, you'll see him up in linebacker positions. And when you think about who's going to take over as that leader when Bobby's gone, I think that Caleb can be that guy. Like, he has the highest floor. You pick this guy, and he's definitely going to change your team automatically. There's no question about it. My comp for him is, I know some people have said Ed Reed. I don't think he plays like Ed Reed. I think he has the ability to make an impact like Ed Reed. I think he's more like Troy Polamalu, if I'm being honest. I even see a little bit of Bob Sanders in this game, but I would say Troy Polamalu probably makes the most sense. He looks a little short. He's 5'11", though. He's not that short, but he looks a little bit on the shorter side. So I do think it would be hard for him against, playing slot against some taller receivers and maybe some taller tight ends, but I've seen him play well against Brock Bowers. I mean, he is dynamic, and I can see why PFF has him as the number 1 player. They might adjust that, but I would very much hesitate to take him first if I was, in that position. And then the number 1 guy that I have, who I love, is David Bailey, and I love Downs more than Bailey, but I think if you want to really make the best pick for the Commanders, I think David Bailey is the answer. It's somebody who's like a force. Like, what I don't see with Arvo Reese on a game-to-game basis is what I see with David Bailey. Like, they are double teaming him. They are making sure they know where he is at every play. He is the guy that they are focused on when opposing teams are playing this guy. My biggest knock is that he just doesn't always play all the downs. Like, I noticed that they would take him out. They had a pretty good rotation at Texas Tech, and they would take him out for like 5 plays, and I'd be like, where'd he go? But at the same time, I mean, when he's in there, you got to focus on him nonstop. They had to chip him all the time. They had multiple times where he was getting double teamed. He's so quick off the edge, and he's just really, even in run support, like, he's not the best run support person, but there's plenty of times where I saw tosses going to the outside, and he's chasing it down. He's just my number 1 player. I think it would make the most sense if he was there at 7. I think you run in and take him. Like I said, I would love Downs, and I think I would still, if I was a GM, I still would be debating if I take Downs over Bailey, but I think the smartest decision is Bailey here. So that's my 7. I essentially, one of these guys is going to be there. I'm so curious to see who they pick, and there is an element of going offense. Like, I don't love that because of how bad the defense is, and I think we'll see what they're thinking more when they go through free agency. If they can get some more free agency help on the defensive side of the ball, then maybe they do take a chance on one of these offensive players. But, for me, if they can get one of these edges or downs, I think it would be a slam dunk and a home run for this team. Ultimately, I'm just so excited. It's going to be a few months. Obviously, we got to wait till the season's over and the combine, but Senior Bowl's next week, so we'll learn a little bit more about that, or at least in 2 weeks, I think. We'll learn a little bit more about that, but I'm just super excited to see where this team goes. It's going to take a lot of help, but, hopefully they can get Brian Flores. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I don't know if the announcement came through or anything yet, but if they can get a great defensive coordinator, they'll be in good shape. But I'm just excited to see where this team goes from here, and hopefully they can snag one of these players. Thank you guys for listening. Obviously, the more support, the better. If you like what you see, we're going to continue to do more, shows like this. Subscribe, and give us a follow, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, peace.